Are you throwing away money as a piano teacher? I hope this video will help you avoid 3 common pitfalls when it comes to pricing yourself as a service provider and help you maximize the value that you bring your wonderful music families so that you can survive and thrive as a music teacher. Pitfall number 1, pricing yourself to match your competitors. One of the most common pitfalls is to research other music teachers, near or far, to find out how much they're charging and then to set your rates accordingly. In premise, it does sound like a good idea to stay competitive and can even be a shortcut to a whole bunch of mathematical gymnastics. However, one thing we've spotted in our years as a multi-teacher collaborative music studio is that the costs in our industry vary greatly, and only you actually know what it takes to create a sustainable biome for your music studio. Costs you may want to factor in when pricing your services. Your location costs, liability insurance, studio license materials, marketing materials, wear and tear on both your location, your materials, and your instruments, investing in your space and your teaching setup, replacing instruments over time or larger maintenance needs, event budgets for recitals, workshops, and masterclasses, professional development and healthcare, studio management programs like Fonz, My Music Staff, QuickBooks for accounting, membership programs like Supersonics Piano, Vibrant Music Teachers, administrative work, social media, marketing, and advertising budgets. As a young teacher, I once told my own music teacher, and she was wonderful, that though I didn't think I was a better teacher or more qualified than her, I did have to charge more than her in the coming music year because I had done the math and realized that I couldn't quit my job as a grocery store florist to become a full-time music teacher unless I charged more than all the other music teachers in my area. I did that. And I'm so grateful because it's allowed me to continue as a music teacher now for 26 years. And I am so grateful I made the choice back then to figure out my own costs and price accordingly. Pitfall number 2, basing your tuition on an hourly wage. It's easy to dream up an hourly wage that sounds reasonable to you and won't raise eyebrows for your clientele. If you've been employed by someone else, you may also think of a number that is that take-home number with taxes and CPP taken off already so that you can walk home with that amount in your pocket. If you price yourself with that number in mind, you may just leave yourself with a huge monetary and time shortfall that may cost you your career and force you into employment that doesn't utilize your heart for teaching and the years you've invested in education and development of your skills. Your time in front of each student is only part of your role as a teacher. You may find it valuable to brainstorm the different roles you take on each week in your studio, and then figure out how much time it's taking you so that when you set your prices, they'll reflect your time in front of the student and that time that you build into your weeks or pay others to handle. Jeff and I started Motif Music Studios with many skills that we could leverage as a business studio startup. Jeff was a computer programmer with much savvy on the accounting side, and he was able to design websites, marketing materials, and advertising campaigns, as well as navigate payroll and bookkeeping. And I could just lean into my educational roles in planning studio events, nurturing our music teaching staff, and create a welcoming studio environment for students and families. However, that alone could have put us in a very risky position because it was easy to undervalue the roles that we brought to the business, and if we hadn't factored that into our fees, our roles could become irreplaceable because we couldn't afford to hire other people to help us. Pitfall number 3, setting your rates with disregard to sustainable teaching practices. Hear me out here. In our time working alongside many teachers over the course of the past 14 years, we are realizing that to create a sustainable teaching career, you will also need to figure out a healthy number of hours for you to be in front of students so that you can charge for your time accordingly. Most teachers that we've worked alongside have 20 to 25 hours per week as a top amount of sustainable hours for them. And that included us handling scheduling, billing, marketing, and communication. That means that it's important not to find an hourly wage, multiply it by 40 hours per week, multiply that by 52 weeks a year, and start dreaming of your extremely affluent career about to provide for you, your family, and your neighbors. Music teaching requires immense amounts of focus when in front of students. Each student requires a personalized approach and a teacher who can prepare much repertoire each week in a variety of levels and come up with individualized plans for each student's success. That means that a teacher needs to be able to switch hats and become a bookkeeping professional, creative marketer, communication liaison, and event planner. You might also want to consider how many weeks off do students in your area expect each year. Do you teach through school holidays, or do your billable hours align with a school district in your area? What are ways that you factored this into your pricing as a music teacher? Some red flags to look for in your pricing include if your tuition rates aren't high enough to pay other professionals for their services and products. That might mean you're expecting yourself or others to take losses to maintain your role as a teacher. This is a huge red flag and an indicator that it may be time to rework your fee structure. I would love to hear from you in the comments. Do you feel like you are already charging what you need to have a sustainable career as a music teacher so that you can continue to maximize the value to your music students and create a long-time career in the arts? I'd love to hear from you. I'd also love to hear from you if you feel you need to revisit a few of the ideas presented in this video. And if you're a student of mine or a student parent of mine, thank you for investing in the arts and helping me continue as a music teacher, providing value to you and your family. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I appreciate you.